stack is just as sharp. I bake my fortune cookies after dark. A stone's throw away from going off. The rails are parallel to all my thoughts. I'm terrified, I'm in love. I won't look back when I lose track of what I've become. 'Cause I'm a man in the wild of the youth that I lost. I'm a snake shedding skin on the rocks that I crossed. I'm the man. I'm the man.
So I made some ginger snaps. Kyle, what'd you think?
They're actually really good.
Why do you say it like that? They were actually really good.
Because you're not a baker.
I'm not a baker. He's right. I think I've told you guys this before in a couple of my other vlogs.
I'm actually surprised. They're a success. It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. So anyways, I'm actually now going to show you guys how you would macro out this for when you don't have the nutrition packs available. The recipe I found do actually have the nutrition packs available, but I want to show you guys what you would do if you find a recipe that you like, but you don't know how to count your macros for the recipe. So let's get into it. All right, you guys, let's quickly go over how you would track this recipe in your macros. So what I'm gonna do, just because I love using Excel, it's pretty quick and handy for me, I'm just gonna input all the ingredients into Excel, and I'm gonna separate out the carbs, protein, fats, and calories. I have separated out the fiber as well. You don't have to separate out the fiber. I recommend that you separate it out if it's a recipe that you're gonna be using on a regular basis, but if it's just a one-time recipe, then don't even go through the hassle of tracking the fiber. But if you are gonna have it regularly, as I always recommend that you should be tracking your fiber, then you do want to account for this when you're trying to figure out the macros for this recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate out all the ingredients. So I'm starting out with my all-purpose flour. So basically I just looked up the nutrition facts online as the flour that I had. It didn't actually come in the original packaging. If you do have the original packaging, I do recommend that you use the nutrition facts on there, as they could be different. So for 1 cup online, it says that for 1 cup, it's 1 gram of fat, 76 carbs, and 10 protein, 2.5 grams of fiber. So all I did was just simply times it by 2, because I added 2 cups of all-purpose flour to this recipe. And for the calories, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, so I just do a formula for here. You gotta remember that there are 9 calories in 1 gram of fat, 4 calories in 1 gram of carbs, and 4 calories as well in 1 gram of protein. Don't worry about your fiber, this doesn't get accounted in there. So all I'm gonna do for my formula is I'm gonna take my total fat times 9, plus my total carbs times 4, plus my total protein times 4, and that's going to equal your total caloric amount. So I'm going to just do a formula for this all the way down so I can add it all up at the end. So then I moved on to ginger. There's a small amount in here. It adds up to about 19 calories for the total amount of cookies, which is 24 cookies. So I mean, this is a very insignificant amount, and if you're strapped for time or you're not too worried about 100% accuracy, then you don't even have to worry about putting this in there. Baking soda, there is no caloric amount. Ground cinnamon, there's a tiny amount. There's only 9 calories and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So again, use your professional judgment whether you want to track this or not. I do recommend tracking it. It's just, it's already in the process, and it gets you in the habit of practicing how to actually track your recipes. So I recommend just going ahead and doing it. So moving on to salt, there is no caloric amount for there. So for 3/4 of a cup of shortening, there is only fats in here. And when I looked up the nutrition facts online, it gives me for 1 cup of shortening. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 1 cup and times it by 3/4 of a cup, because that is the serving amount that I am using for this recipe. So I take 205 grams of fat, times it by 75% to get my total fats for this ingredient item. And we scroll all the way over. Our caloric amount for this total amount is 1383. 1 cup of sugar. As most of you know, this is just a simple carb, so there is only carbs in white sugar. So 1 cup of white sugar is 200 grams of carbs, amounting to 800 calories. 1 egg. Again, just looking up the nutrition facts online, it actually gives me 1 large egg, so just put that in there. And then the last ingredient item is 1/4 cup of dark molasses. For the nutrition facts that was actually on the back, because I did have the original packaging, it shows it on a 1 tablespoon basis. So 4 tablespoons actually equals 1/4 cup. So I'm timesing each item by 4 to get the total amount, as I've used 1/4 cup for my serving. So for carbs, we just times 13 by 4, protein 1 by 4, and there is no fiber in this amount. So once we have all of our ingredients in there, and once we've inputted our fats, carbs, proteins, and fiber, we're just gonna total this amount down. So if we total it down, this is gonna give us our total breakdown for 24 cookies. So for 24 cookies, we're looking at 161 fat, 410 carbs, 31 protein, and 7.5 fiber, amounting to 3213 calories. So since there are 24 cookies, all you want to do is take each of these items and divide it by 24 to get your macro breakdown for 1 cookie. So for 1 cookie, we're looking at about 7 fat, 17 carbs, 1 protein, and not even half a gram of fiber. This amounts to 134 calories. And like I mentioned, the recipe online did have the caloric breakdown, but I just wanted to quickly show you guys that so you can get an idea of how to do that for your own recipes. But when I go to the nutrition breakdown online, it's actually pretty close. We're looking at 121 calories, 5 fat, 17 carbs, and 1 protein. Doesn't have the fiber breakdown online, but it's almost identical. So I mean, there's always going to be an inherent difference when it comes to your macro breakdown. This could be just a difference in our brands that we're using or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's a very trivial amount, so don't get hung up on it or anything like that. So that's that, you guys. I hope that you found it helpful, and I'm gonna post the recipe online. It will be down below in the description, so feel free to give it a try. Kyle gave it a thumbs up, and he is a cookie monster, so if Kyle likes them, they gotta be good. So hope this was helpful, you guys, and that's gonna be the end of the video for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Why?